Okay, so I'm going to show you how I'm going to go about mudding the shower base. Basically, the height's already set over here, so I can't change that. The drain height I could change, so roughly I'm going to do about 1/4 inch, a little bit more per foot to the drain. So all I got to do is lower it to the height I need. So in order to do that, I got my PVC pipe here. I'm just going to measure and cut to the exact height that I want for here and to accommodate the slope. Once I get that done, I got my ledger boards cut here. The only thing is that I don't know if I'll be able to fasten them to the wall because I only have the bottom plate down a little bit here. You can see the concrete around. So in worst case scenario, I'll do some mud screeds if I have to. From there, over there, and then over here. But ideally, I want to use my screeds, thin set and fasten them to the wall. Then we just screed from those screeds to the drain flange. And since we're going to be doing Dietrich heating here, we have to have the thickness of the Dietrich heat down below the flange or around it. That way when we put the Dietrich heat membrane in here, it's flush with the drain on the top here. Because if we just mud and we put the Dietrich heat over it, we won't be able to waterproof it correctly. So I'm gonna make some kind of tool to gauge out what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna screed all to the flange, and then I'm going to take a piece of jig. I'm going to make something, haven't decided yet, to scrape out the mud a few inches around here. That way I can conform the membrane to go down and stay flush with the flange, and then wrap everything here with Curdy. So that's what we're going to do here. So cut the pipe a little bit long, no problem, you can always trim it. Can't put it back on, right? So right now I trimmed it down. We'll see how she fits now. Clean up the edges. Okay, let's see what we got. Alright, a little bit more than we need, but that should be fine. Alright, we're good. So it's slightly more than 3/8 per foot, and I'm fine with that. Just that way, she's gonna have a shower door to the back here. So the rest over here really has to drain. So that will do just fine. Yes, I'm more than 1/4 inch per foot, but that's your minimum. You can go to 1/4, between 1/4 and 1/2 inch is going to do for most scenarios. Like if I was doing a pebble floor, I would definitely do at least 3/8 per foot, if not more. Over here, we're going to be doing 12 by 12s along the whole bathroom floor and along in here. So I have to do envelope cut. Basically, I do a relief cut from each corner to the drain, each side. I'll lay out the whole thing, cut it in, and do the relief cuts, and that will give the water away to get out of here. So there we go. Slightly more than 3/8 per foot. I am good with that. So now I want to see how level the flange is here. That's not level. That's because the P-trap that came up here is not plumb. So there's not really much I can do about that besides pulling up this side a little bit, which I don't have much play. There. So what I have to do is put the glue to the drain in here, let it set for like 10 minutes, and then pack mud under it to get it where I want. So when I do that, it's going to affect over here. Let's see, it's down a little bit more. That's fine. So you want to have this level as you can the flange, because as they come around here, it's going to, the slope follows the flange. So if that's off, then the slope's going to be more or less, depending if the flange is up or down. So that gives us slightly more than 3/8 per foot, and that should be perfect. So like I said, I had to bring up this side, which brought this side. If I had to bring up this side, brought this side down. That's fine. We can level that way. And we're close to level this way. That's level, level. Oh, alright, so when I put the mud in, we have to glue it in, then adjust it from there. That's going to be the hard part. We're good. Just check it around here, making sure that I'm still at that 3/8 per foot here. Just to be sure, since I had to level up the drain. Yeah, see, it's got to go down a little bit. I take the 1/8 inch out, yeah, I'm still at 3/8 per foot. Which has more than 750 million of the highly protective masks on hand. The masks will be available for 3/8 per foot there. Alright, so we are rechecking every position here that I'm still at that 3/8 per foot that I want. I am over here or slightly more. Gotta put the ledger there. Alright. We are pretty much good to go. So I'm going to do first now is I'm going to put my screeds around here. I'm going to mix up some thin set, put my screeds around here if I can. Let's see. I'm probably just going to put one here, put a screw in and see if I can hit the plate here. Take this out for now. Put my plug in there so nothing falls in. These two bays are clear. This one we have, with those two screws are up. That's where the water lines are, and everything else is clear. So can't put any screws here. We can on that stud, and then over here. Mix up a little thin set in mud here. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pack mud under here. Since we have no board here, these kind of want to fold in a little bit. So I'm just gonna fill with mud. If that doesn't work, then I'll do screeds here. Okay, so I got all the perimeter pieces of foam board. I just call them screeds. I just use, ripped down pieces of foam board. They're 1/2 inch, and I thin set them to the wall, as you see in there if you're watching the video. Then I set the flange, glued it in, let that dry for a little while, like 5 or 10 minutes before I start pulling on it, so I can get it nice and level. So I did all that. Screeds, the perimeters are set. Level, I did that with the laser level, go around the whole thing, and then the drain is level. I check the pitch, making sure everything is good, and then we're ready to screed. So this is kind of the part that takes a little bit more time. I mean, all of it's really time consuming here. This is a really big shower too. This was like a 6.5 by like 3.5 or something like that at the time. This is back in January I did this project of 2022. Believe it or not, that's how far back I am on my footage here, but took a lot of mud. I think this one took like 6-7 bags, somewhere around there. Took a lot of mud, so I like to use Mapei 4-to-1. That's my preferred one because the aggregate is fine in it. It's not as thick as like 209 from Latticrete, one of those. This one works out just fine for what I need it for. But I got everything set, and then I'm just dumping mud in, and then I'm gonna pack it. So stay tuned. That's gonna be another video because I want to run this one too long. So stay tuned for part 2 of how I'm gonna screed this out. But stay tuned for the future parts of mudding this curbless shower base. Thanks.